Good evening, Bucks fans. We are back. It's Real Bucks Talk. I'm your host, Michael Plus. Joined as always, my co-host, Mark Ramirez. And man, this offseason has already been pretty wild. It seems like there's some new story coming up about the Buccaneers, our favorite team, and just a lot of nonsense, a lot of lies. And we're just, here to break it down and really, talk about what is real, what is not. Quarterback carousel is going to be, I guess, the topic throughout this whole offseason. But really, I mean, we want to talk about the roster and really how does this team go about making sure they keep everything as far as core and all that together. But Mark, with that said, how are we doing? It's good to be back live on the YouTube.
Yeah, it almost you get the itch. You're like, damn, we haven't spoken, we haven't talked Buck football in a little bit. So yeah, I'm excited. I actually texted you today saying let's get this thing going. I'm excited for all these rumors and crap you hear nonstop. It's one thing for media. It's another thing to be part of your hometown, your team. You just hear bullshit. That's all it is. This is diarrhea of the mouth, and you're like, okay, let's analyze this. What the hell's going on? And then the drama of AB. We're still looking for a quarterback. Is
Mhm.
Tom coming back? Is he not? Are they going to hand over the keys to Blaine Gabbert? Is Kyle Trask never going to be an NFL quarterback? Russell Wilson, Deshawn Watson. You hear all these damn names. So like, guess what? Let's sit down, let's relax, and let's talk about it for a little bit. So
Mm.
let's just get the drama out of the way quickly. And I guess he's the most familiar face you've seen at the Super Bowl. You hear his mouth going off left and right all the damn time. Let's talk about Mr. AB.
Mhm.
AB post MRI. This was actually today. Claims it proves Bucks tried to hurt me about his ankle. There's an MRI of his ankle. He's over here saying, but what was funny is the date on the MRI. Look at all this crap. They tried to hurt me intentionally. The damn Buccaneers sent me out here knowing I was still hurt. Tom said he would throw me the damn ball. Boo freaking who. Swearing over here. This was sent in October.
Yeah, it was the day probably after the Eagles game.
Yeah, it
You know
literally.
when he got hurt, and then obviously he's been rehabbing for several months, and at the end of the day, it was your decision to go in there and play. Like, the Bucks didn't force you to play. You said you could play, and they went with it. So yeah, it's just and then obviously the post has been deleted since then.
Yeah.
So it's just, I mean, he's just shooting himself deeper down the rabbit hole, with a lot of just nonsense that he's trying to throw out there, and just not good for him, obviously.
Yeah. Bud, you said it best right there. I mean, Mike Evans has been one of the most true Buccaneers there is. I mean, he's been through the ups and downs, a lot of the downs. And he said
Mhm.
it best. He's like, yeah, he came into the locker room pissed off and he get catches, gets out there, still crying on the sidelines, and coach said, get the hell off the forgive me, get the bleep off the field. And he did. And he just did it in his own fashion. I still have no clue how he didn't get any reprimanding from the league. I mean, he just
Mhm.
stomped all over the shield. So I don't know how that hell that didn't happen. But we keep going on. The drama's over and done with. That was from October, that MRI.
Mhm.
And he was complaining about something that happened in, I believe, December,
Yeah.
December
Well,
26th.
yeah,
Right?
January. Well, January was the Jets game, but yeah, obviously I guess the week of.
Yeah. The game after he caught 10 passes from Tom Brady,
Mhm.
110 yards. Boo freaking who.
Yeah.
Antonio Brown.
He still got 5 targets in the first half, like, and Mike Evans said it, like, they were both on a pitch count. So, you already knew going into that game you weren't gonna be playing a lot, like, I don't know. Whatever it is, that's,
it is what it is.
he's gonna do him.
Yeah, I've already talked too much of Antonio Brown. He's not on the team, but it's just more drama centered around our Buccaneer team, which it's
Mhm.
going to be like this all damn off season long. But guys, if you have any questions, always put it in the chat. We'll talk about it. But I see you in there. But here's the other drama, latest news from Buccaneers. Bruce Arians has to bite back at a reporter about Tom Brady. That's such bullshit. What is he talking about? Let's go over some D bag over here, Rich Orberger. Heard some interesting things recently. Tom Brady and Bruce Arians' honeymoon was over in Tampa. The retirement announcement wasn't because of the trouble seeing eye to eye on the offensive game planning, but the relationship was souring. And I like this one. So
Mhm.
full of shit, these reports. Go pound sand.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what it is. I think a lot of these, and you see it on Twitter, you see it, you know, across like NFL radio. I think guys are just trying to, and it's really New England people, like they're trying to put a story out there to make it us look like the bad guy, and I guess make Tom, I guess, the victim. But none of this is true. Like everything that BA came out and reported, that's accurate. And yeah, I don't understand it. I guess they're just trying to find ways to put Tampa Bay back in its place of irrelevancy, or if that's a word. But yeah.
Yeah. It's but it's annoying. Like,
Yeah.
I remember texting you about it. I'm like, "This is such
Mhm,
bullshit." Like, it's them wanting to be big market and saying, "Oh, Tom didn't deserve to go down there. He needs to stay in the limelight." They shit on him. The only reason why he's
mhm,
retiring is 'cause they're a piece of shit. No, he came to us because he chose to come here. He didn't wanna stay there no more. He left y'all. Then y'all are crying about how he didn't mention y'all in the retirement.
mhm.
Well, freaking who? He moved on, it's something better, and then after 22 years, he said, "You know what? It's enough." It wasn't because of relationships. It wasn't because of it wasn't a good team. There was a great team around him.
Yeah.
Injuries happened. He knows this above all. 22 years of this shit up and down.
Yeah.
Maybe his wife said, "You know what? What else do you have to prove?"
I
This
think that's the
yeah,
line right there. His wife and then family.
yeah,
Like he's got 3 kids that he wants to see grow up, and like they're getting to that age where, they got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of important things, and who wouldn't want to spend more time with Giselle, like on a beach walking together, So
hand in hand.
I can't blame the guy for retiring. He did everything he set out to do, 7 Super Bowl championships, led the Buccaneers to 2 winning seasons, their most winning season in franchise history. He did everything for this franchise and helped them, get back to a place where we're looking at every season, competing for those championships. Now, obviously, this year we don't know. Maybe we take a step back, but he helped this core that is still pretty damn good.
Yeah.
They know how to win, and I think that's what Tom brought to Tampa Bay.
Yeah, but I mean, just to clear BA's name a little bit more,
Hmm.
the report was also apparently while Arians was rehabbing his Achilles in the mornings, offensive coordinator beat Byron Leftwich and Brady would be hard at work on the game week, on the game plan for the week. And then Arians would come later and take a red pen to what they'd done. QB and OC felt undermined. There was tension. And then, of course, BA comes over. First of all, I don't rehab my Achilles in the morning. I will go over the game plans and add things, but I don't delete things. I also added some stuff about it's funny about the red pen because I don't take a red pen to dumb shit, and that's kind of stupid commentary to add. Just a whole bunch of shit. Let's put it that way. A big
Yeah.
bag of shit. Well, yeah, I guess it's just people wanting to get the first word in per usual.
Hmm.
But it is what it is. I mean, it's shit show going on. It's the off season. It's all rumors. It's all who's first to say whatever, and it's just bull crap.
Yeah.
But
No, definitely.
yeah, so that leads us to the next actually serious rumors going forward. I don't know if they're serious, but either way, it's related to the team. The quarterback carousel. What the hell is it going to be? Is it going to be the only guy on the roster, Kyle Trask? We're going to sign back a guy in Blaine Gabbert, who supposedly this staff loves,
Mhm.
and is heralded. Oh, this would be the next guy up. I mean, because let's go over that guy.
Mhm.
Is what is his name? Plus
Blaine Gabbert.
Blaine Gabbert.
Yeah.
Bucks are poised to hand over the job to Blaine Gabbert, who is not on the team right now. Let's be honest about that. But the Bucks front office has been preparing for this, supposedly.
Mhm.
Uh, what is your stance on Blaine Gabbert getting the keys? Would you be for it, against it? I mean, we'll look at his numbers too while you're talking, but I mean,
Mhm.
what do you think of Blaine Gabbert?
Yeah, I mean, it's I mean, he's a guy we really haven't seen much of. Obviously, he's come in where, the Bucs had like big leads and, Brady comes out of the fourth quarter, or, we've seen him play like maybe a half against Detroit of 2020 where he didn't look bad. He did some good things. But obviously in the preseason, there's been like ups and downs. He's had some really good drives, and then he's had some, what are you doing moments. But when you look at it, he's a guy that knows the offense. He's been here for 3 years, I think now. So, I mean, from a comfort and like just level of support, I think he could be an option. Definitely, the staff, like you said, really likes him, and maybe it's his time. Maybe he's a guy that just blooms late. You had it in Brad Johnson. You've had it in Rich Gannon. Just two that I can think of, and maybe he can be something like that. I think that's like the high hopes. He could come in and be that kind of potential. And people forget he had 8 different offense coordinators his first 8 seasons.
Sure.
Hasn't had a lot of stability, and really hasn't had a great opportunity with good talent around him. And obviously coming into an offense in the Bucs, he's got people to play with, as far as talent. And maybe it could be better for him if he is that guy and they actually, trust him to do it.
I mean, my guys in the chat, no Blaine Gabbert. Ask over Gabbert. I'm gonna try and see what Plus is saying. So Plus said Rich Gannon, Brad Johnson. Let's look at what he's talking about.
Mm.
Richard Joseph Gannon, awesome name. Like late bloomer, yeah. Like first 3 years didn't really do anything. Takes a helm, average 16-16, but still, like I guess progressing. Then explosion here after he's 34 years old, 35, 36. Look at the late career.
That's the same age Blaine is, I believe around that age. Yeah.
Like, oh, not that one. It's college stats, but jumped the gun on that one. He's 32.
Okay, actually. So right around that age.
So it isn't crazy to fathom. You go from subpar, barely anything, and then explosion immediately. 34 years old, look at that, 38, 34, 38, 46. So it isn't impossible to think of. But then again, this is just one sample size. This is Brad Johnson here. He just had kind of okay season. So it wasn't terrible. It was just kind of average. He wasn't anything league MVP ever, but he just got the job done. I think this is more a guy we compare Kyle Trask to than anything. A guy just gets the job done and reduces the mistakes, stuff like that. We'll see. I'm not necessarily comfortable handing the keys to Gabbert. I know it's a small sample size, what we've seen.
Yeah.
But what I have seen is inaccurate passes. I've seen the offense sputter terribly. But then again, like you said, it was the second team, second offensive line, second tier weapons.
Yeah.
Look what Tom Brady had to deal with when AB's out, Chris Godwin's out, and it's just Mike Evans and Gronk. I still think that was enough. I think it was more offensive line, that health of that right tackle that kind of shit the bed in our playoff run. But I don't know. Hopefully it is that time. Hey, he's not even on the damn roster. There's only one guy that's on the roster, and that's Kyle Trask. So, we'll talk later more in depth of why we think he's worthy of it, but let's keep going on. There's plenty more names, plenty more rumors, and here's the next one. Like I mentioned earlier, several team trades are likely in the NFL world. One of them was Mr. Deshawn Watson. So, a whole lot of issues with Deshawn Watson. Obviously, clearly, he has his off-the-field issues.
Yes.
But, there's leaked messages. This is actually out today saying there wasn't anything. It's because they got settled these 22 civil lawsuits.
Yes.
So that's what comes to mind first. So how do you address that?
Yeah, I think obviously from a Bucs standpoint, you can start those conversations and see what it would take to land Deshawn Watson, because obviously he's a heck of a talent, but those off the field stuff, I think that has to be, settled and completed before you actually pull the trigger, and make him your franchise quarterback, because it's a big investment. Obviously you're going to have to give up quite a bit of capital to get him. Then you also have to, restructure his contract. There's going to be a lot of things that, have to take place to acquire a name like him. But I think the biggest thing is you got to see what happens with the off the field first.
Yeah, I think it's easily you can't invest anything into, and I don't know. I mean,
Right.
you
Plus,
draft.
you also have to think about the NFL, suspending him,
Yeah.
because you have to deal with that too. And it's like, okay, you make this trade, but you're without him for the first, half of the season. Obviously that's a big blow to consider as well.
I mean, obviously Jason Light's going to do his research on this. I mean,
Mhm.
I think we talked about this. He knows the GM for the Texans, so he'd probably know full
Yes.
intel on that.
Right.
But still, if things could get cleared, I mean, we already went through that drama with Jameis Winston for years.
Hmm.
I mean, he had something in the news almost all the time, but still, it was just his level of play on the field that we're upset about. I mean, off the field, he sort of stayed clean while here, but still had little hiccups here and there. This is one giant thing. It's 22 giant things with
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson. If it gets cleared, okay. He produces. Let's be honest about that. I showed you the numbers there.
Hmm.
4,800 yards his last season, 33 touchdowns, and only 7 interceptions. That's production. I mean, and he's only 26 years old.
Hmm.
That, if you can get a guy like that, yeah, especially there's no way his value can be that high right now. He
Right.
doesn't want to be on the team. He took a year off because of that. You just don't know what the hell you're getting, because are you going to have to do a mulligan year where you see where Trask is at, or what happens? But what do you have to give up? A lot of question marks. And we'll see. I mean, the closer we get to the combine, the people are going to start talking. March is going to be coming up. Moves, players. It's going to get exciting very, very fast. I think we said that last podcast, but
Hmm.
it just truly is. I mean, Deshaun Watson, whether you like him or not, I mean, he is a viable option. It's just what's the trade value and what's going on with the civil suits. That's a
Yeah.
pretty huge roadblock, let's be honest.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, you look at, just Sean before this stuff came out on him, obviously he's been a very good citizen before all this, the lawsuits came. So it's not like he was a bad person before this. Obviously, we don't know what kind of human he is now, because we don't know, you know, if these accusations are true. But 22 of them suggest probably they are, and you just have to see how that plays out before we move. Before the team moves forward with a decision like this. And obviously, if he didn't have this around his name, we're probably not talking about him being traded at all. He's probably the starting quarterback for the Texans, and that's how it's going to be. Or he's trying to, continue to push his way out. I guess that's like the only. I guess that's the one thing. If you're the Bucs trying to get Watson, that's a good thing for you because he wants out, and like you said, that could benefit you from a leverage standpoint, and how much value you have to, give up.
And to be honest, like I mentioned, Light and Jameis Winston, Jason Light had to go through the whole process of drafting Jameis. So he
Mhm.
knows about asking these questions of allegations of, like, he had to go through the judge or the trial of Jameis Winston stuff,
Mhm.
reading up on all that. Like, he knows how to go through these steps, like in like a business manner. Like, is it a good option? Is it a bad option? And I trust Jason Light in that manner. I mean, some people think it's just more of a X's and O's. I mean, this is also reading the player. What type of guy you're getting for your, not just your team, but for your city that you're bringing them to.
Mhm.
How are they going to react? Yeah, he does great on the field. What does he do off the field? It's a huge thing, community wise.
Yeah.
What now? We move on to the next guy. This guy is actually really good in the community, a really damn good player, a
Right.
Super Bowl winner, and that is now Buccaneers have reportedly done a lot to acquire Russell Wilson. Yet another story that was just 3 days ago.
Mhm.
Humongous name, would have to be an ass ton of picks. and just players. And it's funny to hear all these talking heads like Coward saying, "Oh, you got to give at least 3 Pro Bowlers and 3 first-round picks." I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? But to acquire Russell Wilson, that and if you're talking what Coward's talking, I don't wanna do it. But what do you think about old Russell Wilson and the trade talks that we've done a lot of research to get Russell Wilson?
Well, I mean, obviously, when you look at the available options, or at least rumored available options, Russell would be the top prize, in my eyes, just because you're coming from having Tom Brady as your quarterback, who is a great person off the field, great player on it, and then you can potentially have Russell Wilson to take over and take his place. I think that'd be great news for the Buccaneers. Like, just, coming from that and have that as your next standard. But, obviously it comes down to what are you giving up? And the Seahawks probably don't want to trade Russell Wilson. I know Russell, there's been rumors that he wants to explore his options, but again, it's a thing where he'll have to approve the trade because he's got a no trade clause. So he's got to approve where he wants, what team he's going to. So it's going to be, I mean, it'd be very difficult. Again, it's another one where you have to restructure the contract, and how many picks are you giving up? Like you said, as ton, or how many is it going to be? Do you have to give up players?
Just look at this asking price. This is what Coward came up with. If I was Seattle, all right, we need an upgraded O-line, I guess, 1 starter. Give me 3 first-round picks. Okay. We'll take another receiver beyond DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. So I guess we're talking either Chris Godwin sign and trade or Mike Evans, and then give me also pass rusher starter.
Well, I guess you would have to say Shaq Barrett to match like contracts, but yeah, I mean, like Bud says here, I mean, imagine giving up worse Devin White and Joe Tryon. I mean, that's crazy. So, but I mean, yeah. I mean, if we're getting into like draft day trade type movie scenarios where, we're giving up 3 first-round picks and David Putney because I said so. I mean, it's like
we're getting them all back.
I know, right? Get them all back draft day. That's how it's going to work. I don't know. It's crazy, but obviously Russell Wilson, like I said, would be ideal scenario, especially if you're able to bring back, key pieces that you want to re-sign, Chris Godwin, etc. Guys like that, and keep that core together. You'd be in a great situation.
Here's a good question, or I guess thing. Tom said a first and a third, and that's it. What did Green Bay get for Favre? Did he get traded? No, he retired and came back. Isn't that what it is? He didn't get traded, did he?
Yeah, I don't think he got traded. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, or maybe he did. Maybe he did get traded to the Jets, and then he signed. He signed as a free agent with Minnesota, I believe.
I mean, you've never. What other big?
I mean, obviously we've had our history with Darrelle Revis. We gave up a first round pick for him, but again, it's not a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever even seen it like a top 5 quarterback being traded like that.
Yeah, I mean, it really hasn't. I'm trying to remember if it's taken place. I don't think so. A lot of them have been free agency. We've seen it with Drew Brees, signing with New Orleans. Obviously, us signing Tom Brady. Peyton Manning, getting released and signing with Denver, after the Colts drafted Andrew Luck. So, yeah, I mean, big name quarterbacks being traded. Yeah, I don't really see it. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo was probably the last one, but he's not really a big name. He got traded for a 2nd-round pick. So
it never really started. That's the thing.
Yeah, true. Yeah. But yeah, superstars like this, I mean, you don't really see it happen. If they're gonna, move somewhere. Oh, well, Stafford. Yeah, that's right. Matthew Stafford last year.
Oh yeah, wait. So
he was I think he was a 1st-round pick, I believe, or 2 first round. Yeah. So, yeah, thanks, bud. We appreciate it. going
Brain fart, guys.
brain dead here. They just won a Super Bowl, so obviously it's worth it, if you can make it happen.
Yeah, so here it is.
Mhm.
I like having a computer right here. Rams send 2 first-round picks and a third,
Mhm.
and you get Jared Goff to the line.
Right.
Okay, so
Right.
damn, they sent a quarterback, 2 first-round picks, and a third-round pick. Jesus. Yeah, Russell Wilson's better. Well, I mean, is he better? I guess that's the thing. He just won a Super Bowl.
Mhm.
I guess that was what they were willing to do.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be able to send a quarterback and 2 first-round picks and a third. That is a tall tale. So that's probably the biggest trade I've ever seen.
Mhm.
I guess I
Yeah.
did something similar, but I wouldn't do it.
I don't know. I mean, it depends on what kind of model you want to take after and building your team. You look at the Rams, obviously they've done a lot of trading their picks, but they've also done a great job of drafting well with the picks that they've had. So kind of just shows like if you want to go all in, it can work if you do it right. But obviously you got to have that quarterback, be in that position to, take you there. In this league, I think we've all seen it. Like you got to have above average quarterback for your team if you want to go, to places, winning championships.
Okay, well, with that said,
Hmm.
let's bring this into it. Like everyone's in the chat talking quarterbacks now, everything. But let's say this. Look at the Super Bowl that just happened. You had
Yes.
Stafford won it. Yeah, crazy good arm, but you didn't really see that in the in the actual Super Bowl. You saw the defense playing back a lot. Both defenses played really well.
Hmm.
Quarterbacks were making good reads, preventing bad interceptions, bad mistakes. They were just working with what the defense gave them. At first, it was little chunks here and there. The only guy that really threw it deep was Juggler Joe Burrow.
Hmm.
Got a few chunks in there, but he doesn't have an insane arm. He just has an ability to read the field, make good decisions, and he moves around in the pocket. He's not a scrambler. He just moves around a lot. But no one was crazy in what they did. There was no, yeah, they had the Matthew Stafford on the last drive, the no look pass. That was pretty insane. I'll give him that.
Hmm.
But besides that one individual play and the one kind of scramble around deep ball, there was no Patrick Mahomes' abilities. There was no Lamar Jackson spinning, running 90 yards down the field. It
Yeah.
was just good quarterback play, like managing the game, not causing my team to lose. And then at the end, pushing it, willing my way down the field to get in the end zone, even though that holding call is bullshit. But with that, that's what I'm talking about. You don't need insanity. You just need a quarterback that can make good decisions. We had that Tom Brady. Stafford, you got him because he can make all the throws and he's a good manager of the game.
Hmm.
That's what Joe Burrow is. It kind of adds to my reasoning of Kyle Trask.
Hmm.
Doesn't do anything insane. He just manages the ball really well, doesn't throw interceptions, and he's not going to lose you the game.
Right.
Adds to that, but what do you think of my argument of what a type of quarterback we're looking for?
Well, yeah, I mean, you can, what makes a good quarterback, or, you always have the great quarterbacks and then you have the good quarterbacks. What separates them? I would think the great quarterbacks are pretty much what you said, and that's how you manage the game. How do you play it? How do you, make those key decisions? Do you put your team in the best position to win, consistently? I think that's what separates, the great ones from the good ones. The good ones, they have elite arm talent. They can make every throw that you want. They can make those big plays. They can, find a way to, kind of carry the team on their back a little bit. You see that from Lamar Jackson. You see that at times from trying to think of other guys. You know, you see it at times from
Kyler
Matt.
Murray.
What?
You see it from Kyler Murray. You see
Yeah,
it
Kyler Murray.
from Justin
You
Herbert. He's almost on that trajectory.
right.
You just
So,
other quarterback. There's almost every quarterback in the league right now is good.
mhm,
There's only a few that are upper echelon elite.
yeah.
I mean, and they're starting to slowly go away. But who's going to take that next step? Who's going to take over and be elite? That's the
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah, I mean, and that's that's the crazy thing about when you look at the draft and how these teams draft quarterbacks. Everyone's looking for that elite arm talent. That the great arm, the guy that can throw it all over the field. But really, when you break it down, it's how do they operate inside the pocket? Are they accurate? Can they make decisions quickly? Can they process fast? And when you look at Kyle Trask, I see that as a strength for him when it comes to processing. When he knows what he's doing and knows the scheme, he processed very well to a Heisman candidate
Yeah.
level, and yeah, he doesn't have the greatest arm. He's not going to be a guy that is going to scramble for 1,000 yards or any of that nature. He's not going to make these insane tight window throws, all the time. Can he do it? Yes, but it's not going to be a thing where he's, throwing off his back foot for 60 yards or something like that. For him, it's going to be mechanics are going to have to be strong, and his decision making is going to have to be elite for him to be, that good to great quarterback. And the accuracy, I think he already has. That comes with mechanics and footwork and everything coming together. And yeah, I mean, I guess the only downside of Kyle Trask is just doesn't have the experience right now.
Yeah.
And it's a risk, but it could be a risk that you want to take because the reward could be very high and upside.
I mean, this is where we stand as well. Like, said it before, this Bud Campbell said it before. Roll with Trask, invest in it, and build in the team stronger. Tom says over here, we need to get the defense at an elite level. That's the thing. Defense wins championships. Okay, our defense is really good. If they can get to that elite level, you can add an edge rusher. You can solidify the secondary somehow. Stay healthy. Things can happen, right? And you don't really need an elite quarterback play. I mean, even if you look at what the head coach of the Bengals said after the game, they're like, "Oh, so you guys gonna get offensive line help for Joe Burrow?" He's like, "Well, our offensive line got us to the Super Bowl, so we're not needing it." Which, to be honest, he's not wrong. I mean,
Right.
if you got a decision maker that can make moves and get the ball out, you have the weapons on the outside. That's where your money's gonna go. You can't put the money everywhere. That's what a salary cap forces you to do.
Mm-hmm.
But now you're without Tom Brady. You're gonna have to move some things around. You can't put all the money there and then neglect your defense. Maybe this is the transition we go into because I mean, when we're talking Brad Johnson, that's a guy just managed the game properly. You'd hear fans screaming, "Get your ass, go, run! It's wide freaking open, run, get 5 yards."
Yeah.
He just managed it correctly. There was lulls in the game because we weren't really moving the ball, but the other team wasn't scoring either because our defense was stopping them. That's what I think we're gonna get with Kyle Trask. Frustration at times, but then times you're like, "Holy shit, we're moving it."
Mm-hmm.
Things are executing on all cylinders. And let's bring up old Kyle Trask. That's people maybe forgot how good this guy was in the SEC, Florida Gator, best division of college football you can get. He was 70, almost 70%, 68.9, 4,200 yards, 43 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions his last year there.
Mm-hmm.
This is a guy that he sits on the bench, he learns a system, he gets in, not even the coach wants him again, but he can't pull him the hell out because he's so damn good. He didn't start the season, but because of who is it? Who's the tall guy that
Yeah.
got
Felipe
hurt?
Franks
Franks
got
gets
hurt.
hurt. He
Yeah.
starts it. He comes in, and the coach says, forget this shit. I can't take this guy out. He's making good reads. He's executing the offense. Almost beats Joe Burrow that season
Mm-hmm.
in LSU in away territory, and then comes back the next year and just explodes. Heisman finalist, Heisman candidate, like you just said, 6'5", 240. He's got everything you want in a quarterback stature. In 28 games, 69 touchdowns, 7,300 yards. He has a lot of good things to his name, and it's like everyone just already pegs him off. Like,
Yeah.
trash. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, let's see. He just learned a whole year. Clyde Christensen says they've been working on his footwork, working on mechanics, working on the simple things.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't really heard anything. I mean, maybe out of sight, out of mind. You'd think, oh, no one's really talking to him up right now, so he's nothing. What if he just blows up all of preseason? Are you going to start liking the guy then? Or what if we trade for Garoppolo and then all of a sudden he looks like Ryan Griffin did for years past in the preseason? Oh, Trask. Like, are we going to start screaming Trask? Like, I don't, it
Yeah.
just, I don't know. Maybe it's you just haven't heard from the coaches. Oh, maybe we're going to be running with this guy. I don't know. I don't
Mhm.
know what it's going to take for fans to kind of open their eyes and see you just drafted a guy second round. Do you give him an
Right.
opportunity or not?
Yeah, I mean, and you just said it right there. I mean, second round pick, and obviously they thought high of him to select him at that selection, and they've already talked about how they like him over the quarterback class this year, or at least measure him up to be better than what's available in this class. Again, that could be smokescreen. They could come out and draft a quarterback round one and just give the finger to Kyle Trask, but
Yeah.
um, I'm with you. Obviously, and I'm not trying to be biased here. I like the Gators, but I watched every game of his college career, and he got better and better as each game went on. The understanding and just really the growth that he showed from 2019 to 2020 was it was remarkable. Like, it was insane how much better he got. The processing was quicker, the timing, everything was more fluid. And this was behind a very bad offensive line, like atrocious offensive line. Like, he was Joe Burrow this past year at Florida in 2020, like getting hit nonstop. So he's tough as nails. I mean, I like him. I think he's got the accuracy that you need, and really, this offense, all you need is a good decision maker. That's what it comes down to. So if we can just continue to put pieces around him, I think he would be fine. And that's why, like Bud Cannabis is saying, Krillin, all these guys in the chat, just continue to build the roster, build your defense, and continue to add pieces where you need them.
It's our best shot having a good QB on his rookie contract. Dream scenario.
It is. It's the ideal situation, and I think maybe that's why they bring back a Blaine Gabbert. You have him and Kyle Trask compete it out and see what happens. And ideally, you want Kyle Trask to win that job. But if not, maybe Gabbert's your guy for the first half of the season. Maybe he does okay, and they're like, okay, we're at a point where we can put Kyle Trask in, and maybe they go that route.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, there's no sure things right now. Last time we had this up in the air, Tom Brady came over.
Yeah,
That's not happening. I mean, maybe he comes back. You never know.
you don't know.
But I mean, the scenarios are crazy. I mean, Kyle Trask had Kyle Pitts, Kadarius Toney in college. Now he potentially has Mike Evans, and hopefully we better sign back Chris Godwin.
Right.
You got two elite weapons on the outside. Gronk's likely not coming back. I would want him to, but he's not.
Right. You still probably have a, Cameron Brate who probably restructure his contract. Maybe you bring back an OJ Howard for, reasonable deal. You still have a very good offensive line. Maybe you have to replace Alex Kappa, but you still have replacements available in Aaron Stinney or, Robert Hainsey. Ryan Jensen might have to replace him as well. So it's just, you still have a good core here offensively. And defensively, I think it's a unit that is getting better each year as they progress.
And another thing, this is a guy that beat Georgia's defense, who
Yes.
everyone's like is the best defense in the world, lit them up.
Mm-hmm. Same against LSU. LSU's defense in 2019 was outstanding, and he had a heck of a game in that one. Probably should have won the game. And then 2020, he played against a great Alabama team and went toe-to-toe with them, behind multiple offensive line breakdowns in that game where he just couldn't get rid of the ball quick enough because they were right on him, and it caused some turnovers, etc. But he just keeps coming. He just keeps fighting. And I think that's what is really cool about him. You can't measure heart. You can't measure resilience, and he's got it. He's got it in waves, and he just continues to push. And that's what he's been doing pretty much his whole career.
Yeah, I mean, that's our kind of sell job, I guess, of Kyle Trask.
Yeah.
You're not going to see much. There's not much highlight. I mean, you've given our highlights of his preseason from last year.
Right.
Go check that out if you want to see it. But yeah, there's things to work on. This is a guy that shows he gets better. The more he learns something, he gets better and better. Let's see. Let's see what this year entails. But I mean, either way, wild ride, guys. Get ready. Because not only that, you got the draft, you got free agency. We got to bring back our guys. I mean, that should be priority one.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of wild rides, guys, be sure to check out DraftKings, download their sportsbook app, and just type in that promo code TPPN. It's a great promo they got going on over there, and it helps support our channel as well. So be sure to check out DraftKings if you guys haven't signed up already. Go out there, register, and give it a look and sign up with the promo code. Much appreciated.
Absolutely, guys. Any other last questions in the chat, guys? Because, yeah, I mean, I think that's the best option for the Bucs unless they find an offer they can't refuse and they think it fits their future for what they're planning for the team. Because, I mean,
yeah,
drafted a quarterback second round. Let's see what he's got.
Yeah, I agree. Let me answer Tom's question here. The Bandits probably won't cover them on this channel. Maybe we'll bring them up, once in a while, but we probably won't. We're not going to cover them, full time. But it's interesting. I'm excited to see who's going to be in that league for sure. I don't see. But again, guys, I appreciate everyone. We appreciate everyone in the chat. Appreciate all your questions, support. If you haven't yet, give us a like and subscribe to the channel as always. And share Real Bucs Talk with your friends. Word of mouth is a great way to, just show how much you guys like this channel. Tell them about it. Tell other Bucs fans. Tell other NFL fans. Again, we have a lot of draft coverage coming out. We're going to have a new video of pass catching running back coming out soon. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, it's going to be a wild ride. A lot of off-season news is still on the way. And we got the combine coming up next weekend, which is exciting. So yeah, just be on the lookout. And until the next time, we'll catch you later.
Go Bucs, guys.
Yep, go Bucs.
Go
remember